In regards to these complaints, these memes on the internet, one of them is like, my face when I see Sir Brienne close the book before the ink has dried. Or another one, John gets up the stairs and there's a Grey Worm. It's like, wait a minute, I just left you back there. How'd you get up here? Oh, D&D forgot. Film editing, noun, a mysterious technique that somehow eludes the cognitive abilities of people on the internet, in which events, actions, and sequences are compressed to make it less boring. The goal of film editing was to cut to the chase, get to the action. But for millions of cinematically illiterate crybabies, such a magical act is incomprehensible. How did Grey Worm beat John to the top of the stairs? Can he teleport now? No, John would have been kept waiting while the queen awakened from a dragon nap. Through the magic of film editing, the showrunners thought you had enough sense to realize that people don't get audiences with kings or queens on this show without making it through security. The king will see you now, the queen will see you now. The only mistake the showrunners made here is assuming you have actual brains instead of mob-fused hive minds that can't understand anything in the show without being spoon-fed every single action on screen. Don't worry, the books are coming out. You can all pretend to care about boring minutia again when you talk about reading the books, but skip past Martin's 43rd chapter of banality posing as character development. Doesn't Brienne know ink needs to dry? Cut too early and you complain that we don't get to see the end of the scene because your pea-brains haven't learned to fill in the blanks. Cut a shot in the middle of the scene, Bree waiting for ink to dry so we can get to the punchline, closing the book, a metaphor for finality. And you imbeciles gripe about getting the punchline because we didn't get to sit there and stare at ink drying.
So
it's almost. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. You're not done. Okay.
It's almost like people watching Game of Thrones have forgotten that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Like they're babies who think that because a writer does not hang a lantern on every single possible point of exposition, that they cease to exist. I mean, normally, don't we complain about too much exposition? It only happens if I can see it. I guarantee the reason that you can't see it is Martin's fault. He wants to build up suspense so you will be able to see what Bran was warging this whole time and how he's playing chess with everyone. The last time we were able to see his true power was when he received the revelation of Jon's origin and when the Night King found him, and that one that you mentioned. He also does warg the Ravens in season 8. I do grant that.
And he wargs into the Dothrakis.
The Dothraki do seem pretty dumb. They might be on Hodor level. I don't know.
Oh, shit. Redact that. From then on, it's all hidden, not by the writer. Well, the right way they write it, that's true. From then on, it's all hidden, not by the writers being too lazy to let you inside Bran's head, but because Martin wants you to buy the books and find out what happened. Why did Drogon burn the Iron Throne? Because Bran warged him, you twit. Why did the horse magically show up for Arya? Because Bran warged it. These things that feel like meaningless, trivial wastes of precious screen time are going to fit together like puzzle pieces once you have the rest of the expositional story when GRRM is done. I personally don't love Martin's languid pace, but I respect the man's dedication and sense for human motivation. And I think that with all its failure, the last 2 seasons will age much better in the light of Martin's finished books. If he finishes them, Gods be good.
Okay, so Ford sent me this last night, and so I had time to write a troll of him.
Okay,
and so like this is lighthearted, you know. So I was gonna say, you're just defending it because that's what you do. Inevitably, when you think criticism of something has gone too far, you take this contrarian approach to defending it. If tomorrow aliens landed and attacked Earth, initially you'd be against them. And then within a month, you'd read all the online criticism of the aliens, you'd watch one too many YouTube rants, and you'd do a complete 180 on the subject. You'd say, you know what? No. Who do these little online warriors think they are to criticize beings that are smart enough to develop interstellar travel, beings dedicated enough to fly across the flippin' galaxy to get here? You don't think maybe they know just a little bit more than you do? Maybe we should withhold judgment until we see the full picture of their motives. And so what if these aliens turn out to be purely inherently evil? Maybe it'll take oppressive alien overlords to finally be a sledgehammer of truth, come to shatter your mental utopias of pseudo-intellectual Marxist ideology. I'm not done. You think human beings are so great? Maybe you need to take a look back at, I don't know, the entire history of our species. Because let me tell you, pal, we've basically been a cancer on the planet from the time we got here. The first two people that God put on this planet disobeyed the one command that he gave them almost immediately. And what did their children do? Well, they didn't waste any time introducing homicide into the world. It's been a downhill slide ever since. So yeah, I'm on the alien side now. I hope they wipe us out.
Oh man, spot on.
Dude, that's psychology degree. Hey, man, you might be the next GRRM, dude. You should just start writing that kind of thing.
I can write people. Yeah, I can write people.
All right.
Can we agree to move on from Game of Thrones until 10 years from now when the book comes out?
When the book comes out, maybe we can have a little retrospective. I mean, we don't all have to read it, but I mean, we could parse it. I mean, I'll probably read it if you want to just read like Cliff Notes, and then we can. Yeah, it would be fun. I think at that point to revisit it. It'd be a while.
Yeah.
If the book comes out,
I have a proposition in the wake of Game of Thrones. Let's just make our own myth. I mean, let's just jump into it. Like for real. Let's just jump into it. I mean, I know Jared's working on stuff. I've had a little idea I've wanted to do for a while, a pet project. And
okay,
so, yeah.
I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
Can we do a Paper Pals episode 9? Or season 9?
Oh.
Jared writes it.
Oh,
you do the Paper Pals.
What is Paper Pals?
No, we all three have to write it.
I don't have to. You guys write it.
Okay, me and Jared can write it. Oh well, we'd really get into hashing this out. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we would. I mean, I'm legitimately all for it. Like, again, I don't feel like season 8 is canon. I'm and that's not. I don't think that's just me being like, I refuse to accept this.
I actually, this could be fun. Okay, so what Paper Pals was, there was this guy one time, he made these Downton Abbey paper cutouts, and so like you could print them off, and I was watching it with my wife at the time, and the guy, he just included some kind of fun thing. It was just a funny thing. He did it for Vulture. It was like an official blog post.
Oh, okay.
And so I printed them out. And then I wrote an episode called Downton Abbey Paper Pals. I'll share those videos with you. Like, I think the thing is you want it to be real short, so that, it's not taxing to any of us. And we just take our time with it. And the great thing is we could build up towards, like, we could take as long as we want, really. And when the book comes out, we can come out with the whole season or something.
Yeah. I mean, Game of Thrones is just part of life. I mean, the prequel's coming out next year. The books will. At least I think he'll get the next book out. I don't know if he'll ever get the last book out, but Game of Thrones is just going to be part of life for the foreseeable future.
Star Wars for adults for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you guys. That was a rough man. That was one of my favorite episodes to at least do.
Exceeded expectations. Well done, Jared. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Till next time. Get out there. There's a lot to build.
Make your own myth.
Winter is canceled.